Hi again, everyone. Carter Krishnair here for the Florida Soccer Report on Beyond the 90. The Rowdies lose tonight to Pittsburgh. Highmark Stadium is a place where the Rowdies lose a lot. 2-1. Better performance in the second half. The Rowdies certainly have gotten better the last few weeks, but with the loss, they are once again 24th out of 24 teams in the USL Championship, dead last at the foot of the table in the Eastern Conference, and overall 24 teams are at the foot of the table. Still only 8 points this season, 6 of which have come in their 2 meetings against Miami FC, who unfortunately they do not play again. Miami FC, as we've talked about before, has the ability to beat Charleston and the top teams in the league, but seems to always lose to Tampa Bay. So no more matches against Miami for Tampa Bay. Tonight it was Steve Coleman went back to a 4-4-2 again, which was I still think is the wrong shape for this personnel. And like the Lou City match, like the Lexington match, like the Loudoun match, they were run over in the first half, in the first stanza of play, first 30 minutes of play, like the Miami match last week, right? But came back in that match in the second half. And much like every match I've mentioned, the Rowdies were chasing the game after a really short period of time. I didn't like the look of the side tonight in terms of the team that was put out there. No Leo Fernandez, he's injured again, so that's not good. He didn't dress. Forrest Lasso is coming back from an injury. He didn't play. Danny Crisostomo comes on very late. Doesn't make much of an impact, but he's a guy, and I'm not quite sure why he's been dropped, quite frankly. Van Kazeel was really poor tonight, so maybe Crisostomo comes back next week and partners with Hilton. Or midweek against Indy. That's a very winnable game, by the way. I mean, that's going to tell us a lot about Tampa Bay. If they can beat Indy, they can get 3 points, then they're back in the conversation. If they split the points in that match or they lose that match, then I have to begin to think we're looking at a Tampa Bay team that is in dire trouble. Again, they're going to enter that match in 24th, in dead last in the USL Championship, 24 out of 24 teams. Indy lost tonight to Las Vegas at home, but Indy has not played well all season. But they have been able to grind out results in a way Tampa Bay has not, which is why they're further up the table, right? But today, all the teams, with the exception of Pittsburgh, right, who we're going to talk about in a minute, all the teams that Tampa Bay would have to chase down in the Eastern Conference lost. Miami lost, Rhode Island lost, Indy lost. So these are the teams that they're going to have to, there's multiple matches behind each of those teams, but they're going to have to chase them down, as we said, to get into the top 8. Bodily at left back, again, I think he's one of the best left-sided attacking players in the league, either as a left wing back or as a left-sided midfielder. Maybe even you put him on the left side in a 4-3-3, although I think that might be a stretch. He is not a left back in a 4-man back line. So he wasn't great. He had one really good move late in the match. It was the one where the referee got hurt, actually, when the referee got injured and went down in the middle of the pitch. She was okay, thankfully. She's one of the better referees in the USL Championship. So given my recent concerns about officiating, which I articulated during my video on the Miami loss in Detroit, which was largely down to officiating, but also down to just Miami having a lot of bad luck. She's one of the better officials, and she was good again tonight. I'm glad she was okay. Who played well for the Rowdies today? Maybe you see why Passius doesn't start often. And Steve Coleman's hesitated because he was bad from the go. From the word go, he was bad. Arteaga better tonight, another goal for him, so he's getting going. I thought Ollie Bassett was great. I thought he's my man of the match for the Rowdies, and of course Hilton. Having Hilton back makes such a big difference, and you see an ability to unlock defenses and create opportunities when he plays, right? So we did see that today. Let me pull up the match stats here. I haven't looked at them yet. So possession, 56-44 in favor of the Rowdies. Pittsburgh had 6 shots on target. A lot of those were early. Pittsburgh had a great chance, actually, late on in the match. A couple of really good chances when they were countering. quite frankly, it just wasn't good enough. I mean, it's just this team doesn't have the ability to control tempo and assert their will on a match. Okay, and while it does feel like there are a couple of matches now where their opposition has just hung on, right? Pittsburgh just hung on. It feels like Lou City just hung on. Going a little further back, they were able to come back and rescue the game against Tormenta. They were able to kind of push Lexington, and Lexington was just hanging on it to the draw at the end, even though Lexington could have been 2 or 3 clear by the time Tampa Bay scored, right, in that match. It's just not good enough. This is not a top 8 team in the Eastern Conference, and I thought with Hilton back there we're going to be substantially better. I have to say that. I said that after the Lou City match. They are better. They beat Miami, who is a team that then turned around and beat Charleston 3 days later. A Charleston team that can't stop scoring, except in that match. But again, in the first half, they were so bad against Miami that it was Miami's fault they weren't 2 or 3 clear. And tonight, they spotted Pittsburgh 2 goals. It actually could have been 3. There was a really good save by Ethan Bondre. Bondre, by the way, I thought had a good game today. Let me check how many saves he had, because he had a few, right? Looks like Bondre is credited with 4 saves. Yeah, and Pittsburgh had a couple other chances that were off target, really good chances. So that's good. I think in spite of the mistake against Miami last week, Bondre has settled the goalkeeper position. But otherwise, it's just not good enough. So Indy, midweek, big game. Big game. Biggest game of the season for the Rowdies thus far.